Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 easy ways to run a faster 60-yard dash. The 60-yard dash is so important, especially as a baseball player, because at any type of tryout or showcase event, it's going to be the very first thing that you do. And so it's your choice if you immediately want to make a great impression because of your speed and because of your great 60-yard dash time, or if you just want to make an average impression or no impression at all. All right, so I'm going to give you 5 simple things that you can do to run a faster 60. Without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so let's get into it. How to run a faster 60-yard dash. The very first thing that you want to focus on to not only run a faster 60, but just run faster in general, is to focus on dorsiflexion, not plantar flexion. Now, what is dorsiflexion? Well, dorsiflexion is essentially moving your toes up towards your shin, or you can think about even flexing your ankle, okay? What this is gonna do, running in this manner, it's gonna allow you to decrease the amount of time that your foot is on the ground, right? Because let's face it, the longer that our foot is on the ground, the slower we're gonna be. We don't want our foot to be on the ground a long time, right? We want our foot to hit the ground and immediately come back up and we're taking our next stride. That's how you get fast. And the best way to decrease that time of your foot on the ground is by using dorsiflexion. Now, how do we actually use dorsiflexion when we're running? Because it's an easy concept to understand, right? Oh, great, I need to use dorsiflexion to run faster. But how do we actually apply that when we're running without necessarily needing to think about too much? And the best analogy that I found is, imagine that it's a hot summer day and you're running on concrete, okay? Now, when you're running on concrete, if you ever do that, you want to make sure to avoid stubbing your toe, right? Because it doesn't feel very good. I'm sure a lot of you at home have done that. Not a good feeling at all. Wouldn't recommend it, okay? And so how do you stub your toe when you're running on concrete? Well, you let your toe kind of come down. That's when you stub it. And so if you just have that in the back of your mind to act like you're running on concrete barefoot in the summer and you keep your toes up, that's going to keep your ankle flexed. That's dorsiflexion. You're going to run faster because of it. All right, so we're running with dorsiflexion. That's good. Now the next thing we should focus on when we want to run a fast 60-yard dash and just run fast in general is focus on forward lean. And it's as easy as it sounds, okay? Forward leans means leaning forward. And a great way to think about this is the perfect day for this, but especially at the start when you take off, you want to be leaning forward. A great way to think about this, a great analogy, is focus on shading the sun, okay? So the sun's behind me like this. The only way I'm going to shade the sun is by not leaning backwards, but by leaning forwards, kind of over my toes. And if I do that, if I have that good forward lean, my chest is over my toes, that's going to propel me forward. We never want to be leaning back and, reaching out with our feet, because if we land on our heels, that's going to really literally put the brakes on. So we don't want to do that. We want to have that good solid forward lean, especially out of the gate. And if you just focus on shading the sun, that's going to give you that forward lean that we're talking about. All right, the next thing, to run a fast 60-yard dash, you need to run in a straight line. And this sounds so simple, so basic. It sounds like common sense, but a lot of players struggle with this, okay? So think about it. What is the shortest distance between 2 points, right? Point A, point B. What's the shortest distance? The shortest distance is a straight line, right? Wouldn't it be nice if we could just jolt to the other side of town on a straight line? Obviously, that's not the way that roads work typically, right? But that would be the fastest distance between 2 points, is a straight line. Same thing when it comes to your 60-yard dash. Now, although it's, sounds like common sense and it sounds basic, how do players get away from this? Well, I think that a big reason why is because players spend too much time looking down at the ground. And obviously, if you're not looking towards your target where you want to go, you're kind of going to end up going all over the place. Kind of like if you don't really have any goals in life or goals on the baseball field, you're kind of just going to float around like a leaf in the wind and just kind of wind up wherever. Same thing with your 60-yard dash. And so it's important to keep your chin down as you're running. It's important to keep your chin down, and especially at the start, when you very first start, you want to stay low, and you do want to have your eyes, focused more on the ground instead of having your chin and your head picked up like this, because that's going to make you run more on your heels and slow you down. So we want to keep our head nice and low and our head down, but eventually you have to look up and you have to look towards your target, and you have to run in a straight line to get there. All right, you can't be looking down at the ground, zigzagging all over the place. It's really going to slow down your 60. Another thing that's really going to help you run a faster 60-yard dash is when you get down to the finish line, okay? Run through the finish line. Don't run to the line, run through it. And I see this all the time, literally at every single camp and showcase event and tryout that I've ever been to. I've always seen players do this. So again, it's another piece of advice that sounds like common sense, but there's a lot of players out there that don't actually apply this. And so, think about if you think that you're just sprinting to that end cone or that finish line. If you just think about sprinting to it, chances are you're gonna let up a little bit soon. Even if it's just 5 yards early, that's gonna slow down your time, right? And so always have your eyes set on not the cones, not your finish line. Have your eyes set past the finish line, at least by 10, 15, even 20 yards. Run all the way through. You shouldn't be able to slow down quickly immediately after the finish line. You should have so much speed built up that it just carries you. You just blow through the finish line. You literally, if you can make it happen, you want your fastest point to be at the finish line. You don't want to have your fastest point at the 30 yard mark and then slow down from there, right? We want to continue to accelerate and just get faster and faster and faster. Blow through the finish line, run through it, don't run to it. All right, and then the very last tip, this one's a really, really good hack, all right? When you're being hand timed, so pretend this is the starting line. When you are being hand timed, which a lot of you guys, you're gonna run 60s that are hand timed. What are the coaches gonna tell you, okay? The coaches are gonna tell you, we're gonna tell you ready, set, go. But you don't have to go based on our go. You go based on when you're ready, you go on your first movement, that's when we'll start the time. But a lot of players, they don't take this into consideration. And so, the coaches, what happens is a lot of players, although the coaches just told them they can go at any point in time, a lot of players just fall into the rhythm of ready, set, go. And if you're at the starting line and you wait, first of all, until you hear that go, the coach is going to start the time. The coaches get into a rhythm, and when they hear go, their chances are they're going to start that clock. And if you wait until you hear go, chances are you're not going to be taking off right when it's the go, the G part of the go. You're going to hear go, and then your brain's going to tell you, okay, now it's time to begin. And by that point in time, you've literally lost, it's just a fraction of a second, but you've lost time. And so I'm not telling you to cheat the system here or anything like that, but it's just human nature. Even though the coaches at the finish line say that they're going based on first movement, especially with a lot of guys, they just sort of get into a rhythm and they start going based on the coach saying go. And so my recommendation for you is to don't wait for him to say go. When he says ready, set, you take off when you're ready to go, just a split second, maybe even before he says go. If that coach is doing his job right, he's going to hand time you based off your movement. He shouldn't be listening to that audible sound, but chances are they're all human beings, right? They make mistakes. And so you don't want to be on the opposite side of the spectrum where you wait until the coach says go, the hand timer has already begun, and you're still at the starting blocks, right? You want to be, as accurate of a time as possible, and that means immediately when you hear go, immediately when their hand drops, whatever, you need to be moving. So remember, it's about your first movement. It's not about when they say go. Go when you're ready. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And really quickly before you go, if you're serious about improving your bat speed, you really want to hit the ball harder and further, then check out betterbatspeed.com, okay? All you have to do, just type in betterbatspeed.com, or you can actually even click on this card right up here. That'll take you to that page. All I need is your email address, and then I'm going to send you a free Bat Speed Boosters workout that's going to help you quickly take your bat speed to that next level. So betterbatspeed.com, or just click on this card right there and you can grab your free Bat Speed Boosters workout, all right? So go ahead and do that right now. As always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're coming out with brand new videos every single week, and I don't want you to miss any of them, all right? So subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. Until next time, I'm out.